All right, welcome in. It is Wednesday. It is time for another edition of Total Bases right here on the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I was in bed much earlier last night. Did not stay up till 3 in the morning to watch Brewers A's, but I know, Brian, you did because you were at the game again. Tokyo Ran and I was up early this morning grinding the KT Wiz. Had a winner in the KBO. Which was my $5 play yesterday at WagerTalk. Did not play any Major League Baseball, so pretty happy about that. KT Wiz get it done this morning, and now we're here, hopefully, to find a bunch of winners for you guys. So I'm going to let TB kick it off today. Tokyo Brandon, how are things going for you? And we are going to talk about Dodgers Pirates. I got to shout you out again because prior to the season, it was not a popular take that Shohei Ohtani was just going to win the Cy Young or even be in the mix. A lot of people thought he might not get the innings. And you came on one of our earliest shows and said, this dude is going to probably win the Cy Young this year. And it is looking like that might be the case at this point. So how are things going for you? And, of course, kick us off, Dodgers Pirates, MLB Network, Ohtani versus Jared Jones tonight.
Yeah, I got a nice little win in the KBO LG. And I got extremely unlucky and lucky last night. I had both the Braves and the Phillies taking a lead into the ninth inning, and both of them got walked off in defeat. But I also had the Brewers A's game under 12.5, which hit 12 in like the sixth inning. I had to pray for 4 scoreless innings, and I got it. So luck happens, equally positive and negative. So, but you remember the negative bad beats more than you remember the good ones. So on to the Dodgers. Dodgers crushed the Pirates yesterday. I don't think anyone expected that. I think the total for that was only 7.5 or 8. Don't think anyone expected the Dodgers to score 12 runs. Ohtani contributed, and they did what the Dodgers do. But, Skeens only gave up 2 runs. He had a quality start. But, yeah, their bullpen kind of disintegrated pretty quickly. Tanner Scott tried to give it away, but he couldn't. So today we've got Ohtani, sub-1 ERA. How long will it last? Well, I think he can continue this. On a curve of 30, I've got him ranked number 2 in all of Major League Baseball. He's definitely a top 10 pitcher. And he's tailoring all his workouts and his cardio and all of that towards pitching instead of hitting. His power numbers are dropping a little bit, but still better than most human beings. Dodgers hitting 6, Pirates hitting 17. Dodgers bullpen 11, Pirates bullpen 23. I don't see any other way you could go. A lot of ways you could bet this Ohtani to win. You could get a pretty good pretty good number for that. You could take Ohtani over 18.5 outs or 17.5 outs. I do think he'll pitch, probably get an out in the 7th inning, perhaps. And those are some ways to approach it. That's how I would, for sure. Can't back the Pirates today.
Oh, see, TB, I disagree just a little bit. And now we're going to bring in Bryan Leonard, of course. Gave him the first 4 minutes of show to regroup. Of course, he's been up late every night. He's doing the marathon out in Vegas this week, all 6 games. So if you're at Las Vegas Ballpark, go say hi to Bryan Leonard, who's going to be there for all 6 games, which is, I don't think, listen, Brian, I have done my share of different games, different cities. I've done, I think, 4 and 5 days with college hoop. I don't know if I've done 6 games consecutive like that. So shout out to you for doing that. Jump in here. I will disagree. I do think there's ways to maybe play the Pirates. I do think there's some value with the Pirates here, but it's a matter of how do you do it? And do you even want to step in front of someone like Ohtani right now? So Dodgers, Pirates to you. How are you seeing this one?
Yeah, I got a little bit of a text from our friend Marco D'Angelo, who's a horse owner, and he's originally from the Pittsburgh area. So he went back and visited his new horse, his baby horse, cute little thing. His wife loves it. But he was at the baseball game yesterday, and he's tweeting it out, and he's got pretty good seats. And he goes, I said, I figured a person like you would have better seats than this. And I sent him my front row tickets for the A's game, and he came back with a touche moment and said, mine were free. And he knows that's important to me. is to save as much money as I can for my bankroll. And I said, touche, that was a good deal. A very good post. But as soon as he sent that to me, they fell apart. So yeah, the Pirates yesterday, they had that big day. We said how much it meant. And here's another one. Not only the Dodgers are in town, but they got Ohtani on the mound. He's going against Jones. So yeah, this is an interesting handicap. Ohtani's basically about a $2 favorite right now. I've seen everywhere from a 7.5 low to an 8.5 high out there. A lot of 8.5s, a lot of 8s. So 7.5 over 20 here in Vegas. It's a Superbook. So maybe somebody there is a fan of this and they hit it early. But yeah, Ohtani's as good as you can be. Jones is a guy who's looked good so far. Should be a fun game to watch. And from a weather standpoint, and this is one I don't know if I had a chance to talk about the weather yesterday, but I will. And I had by the way, I won a hockey game yesterday. I had 2 plays I sold on the site. The other one I lost, and that was the under in the Detroit game. And when the under is 8.5 and you give up 8 home runs, I didn't have that kind of luck that some people have once in a while to win the lottery. So that was a bad pick on my own part. And somebody mentioned that in the YouTube comments. To keep in mind, anybody can contact us through that, and we'll give you an answer. We're all in there every day. I love answering and questions, and a lot of the guys are as sharp as we are that are in there. So I tend to learn from them, and hey, it's a learning experience. This whole reason why we do this show is a learning experience for you and for me. And without doing it and bouncing things off of you guys, it's a tougher handicap day for me on Sundays. I'll be totally honest with you. But yeah, there's a lot of games where the wind is blowing out. In Vegas tonight, I'll hit it now because I don't know if I'll talk about the game. They're expecting 47% more runs than we get here, and 80% home runs. Yesterday, it was 47% more home runs. The day before, it was 41% home runs. Needless to say, this game is going to be an hour earlier, by the way. Starts an hour earlier, which means more time in the sunlight, more time in the heat. I don't care what the pitching matchup is right now. I don't know if I want to play the under there. And in fact, by the way the wind is blowing out across the league, I'm not sure it's going to be an easy day to play an under anywhere. So I just want to keep that in mind here. And we've got 2 great pitchers going here, and with the way the game sets up for me, you rarely see an 8.5 in Pittsburgh. Especially with Ohtani and Jones. There's a reason why it's 8.5, and that's because it's going to be pretty good hitters ballpark today. Still, 8.5 is kind of tough, but the Dodgers score everywhere. Their offense, I haven't talked about this in a while, but if you take a look at how the teams have done so far this year for WRC Plus, the Dodgers are at 121 on the season. They were basically, it was the Dodgers, the Yankees, and Houston and Atlanta fighting it out all season. Well, now they've got a 7-point lead over the Yankees. Yankees have dropped down to 114, obviously, without Judge. Atlanta's cooled off a little bit. They're down to 110. So the Dodgers are still by far the best hitting team in Major League Baseball. Pittsburgh is actually hitting pretty well this year. They're at 105. They did play yesterday without Cruz. They had some injuries, and obviously their rookie is out, so that hurts their offense. I don't know if Cruz will be back today. It's very early for me, and so I don't know. I haven't checked injuries yet to see who's going to be back, and they might not even be out yet. But with the hitters, key hitters for Pittsburgh being down and not playing in this one, we're getting a team total right now. Pittsburgh 3.5 to the under. So the Dodgers can give up 3 runs or less in this game and win. That's something I may be a little bit interested in here. You're laying a little bit of juice at 145, but it would not surprise me. Ohtani has another good game here. And yeah, a lot of different ways to look at this one, but I'm not sure with the Pittsburgh offense dealing with some injuries here against one of the top pitchers in Major League Baseball this season, they're going to have a lot of success, even though the wind is blowing out a little bit. It's tough to get there with this Pittsburgh offense in Pittsburgh in this game.
Yeah, I mean, Tokyo Brandon, the what are your wild cards here? You always, you bring up that term. Like Jared Jones, a big time wild card in this game,
Yes, he
because
is.
he's coming back from injury. But like the guy's throwing 99, all right, like that is, his velo's up from when he was in the majors back in 2024. So of course, the story with Jared Jones, one of these great prospects that's coming through the Pirate system. They have a bunch of them. Like all these guys came up roughly the same time. Skeens, Jared Jones, Braxton Ashcraft, Chandler, and Ashcraft a little bit behind them. So they have all these good pitching prospects. Quinn Priester was one they kind of gave up on, right? Mike Burrows, another one they kind of gave up on. Like they have had so many pitchers come through sort of their ranks, and Jones, again, I felt like the Ashcraft thing where it's like Jared Jones, if he wasn't like in the same timeline as Paul Skeens, people are going to be like this, like, look at this guy throwing gas, and he's got like insane upside. He was a second rounder, so no reason to think that he can't be an ace. He gets hurt, he misses an entire season. Well, you know what? The numbers so far this year are not, it's whatever. He's only had 2 starts at the big league level, long rehab. But like, I don't think you can ignore the fact that his fastball's 99 since he's come back. Like that to me, last time out, doesn't give up a run in 5 innings against the Astros. But Brian, I'm with you. Big time concerns with the Pirates lineup right now. Brandon Lau goes down. That's a bad injury for them. He's sort of quietly been the sort of the motor in that lineup, I think. And you take him out. Now you get the Cruz injury. Connor Griffin was playing good. Tokyo Brandon's cashing KBO bets here on the right side of the screen. But like, I think Jones could keep them in this game. Plus 1.5 is plus 105. But all of those things sort of have me tilted to the under as well, Brian.
I just wanted to point out Brandon Lowe did come back yesterday. He played
He
yesterday.
did. Okay. He is back.
He was second in the lineup, his normal spot. But Cruz has been out the last 2 days. Cruz helps Pittsburgh on offense and really hurts them on defense. But that's a major one. When you're facing a guy like Ohtani, you're not going to get many good swings off of him. And to have a big power guy like him possibly not play, you can get lucky and hit a home run against a really good pitcher every once in a while if you're swinging hard enough. But Lowe is back, and he did miss Sunday's game.
That's a great call on Lowe. I missed that yesterday. It looked a lot worse than it was because there was some things that people reporting after the game Sunday that it could be pretty bad. So great to see him back in the lineup. That is huge for the Pirates. It makes me like the Pirates even more here. Pirates plus 1.5 is the way I lean. Not sure I will get to the window with that, but don't be surprised if Jared Jones comes out and gives you 6 very strong innings here. Brian, speaking of free tickets, shout out to the Richmond Flying Squirrels. One of their people saw my social media post and invited me to come down and check out the brand new CarMax Park in Richmond, Virginia. I will be going toward the end of this month. So free tickets for Trig as well. Looking forward to making the trip down there. That is the AA affiliate of the San Francisco Giants. And they just promoted like all of their guys to AAA. So that Richmond team's like 20 games over 500. All these guys just got called up. So let's not sleep on the Giants maybe having some guys that could come in. There's like 2 or 3 starting pitchers that are like right there. You could see them call some guys up and improve their team. But we're gonna go to Alex Rand. First of all, Alex, thank you for the donation. Tokyo Brandon, I'm coming back to you. First off, Alex says, good morning from DC to the best baseball show on the land. We very much appreciate that. He wants to talk about a day game today. He says, Orioles on the bounce back today. I on one hand, I'm not surprised that the Mariners have won these last couple games. On the other hand, I would be a little bit surprised if the Orioles get swept. This one's tricky to me. I felt like I want to play the Mariners, but I would have liked them to lose one of these first 2 games in order to be more confident that they actually get it done. So, Tokyo Brandon, day game to you. This is Mariners Orioles from Camden Yards. How do you see this one? It's actually not a day game. Sorry, this is a 6:40 start. That's my bad. 6:40 start.
Yeah, that'll be pretty early in the morning for me. But anyways, on my Twitter X, Tokyo_Brandon, I already put up my pitcher matchups for today. And Kirby doesn't really fare that well. He's very average great sample size, but the Orioles can hit him. They don't trounce him, but they can hit him. I like what I'm seeing from Brandon Young eye test wise, but not number wise. So, yeah, I've got him pretty much in the mediocre area as far as my numbers, but I think he's better than that. Kirby's ranked a little higher than I actually like him, but batting and bullpen, I think the Orioles have a big advantage here. So it's really hard to sweep a team. Usually, I don't know why, but teams definitely take their foot off the gas when they've already won the series and it's the last game of the series. I didn't used to believe in that phenomenon about 2 years ago, but since last year, I've been a believer in that, and it actually is true. I think the Orioles have a very good chance of winning this game because Seattle will take their foot off the gas because they've already won the series. So, yeah, I would think I would take the Orioles here. It's not a client play, but if I had to bet this game, I'd probably take the Orioles. I like Young.
Brian, I misspoke. This is not a day game. This is a normal 6:40 start. That's my bad. I don't really think it changes my handicap terribly here. I do see that the Mariners have some bullpen usage. I guess that would be a potential way into the Orioles. But again, George Kirby, Brandon Young, Mariners, Orioles to you. How are you seeing it?
Yeah, from an injury standpoint, we still got Rushman's missed the last 2 days, and Basillo has missed the last 2 days. That means that we're probably going to get Sam Huff. Sam Huff's a decent hitter. He's had to play the last 2 days, but that's a pretty big drop off from the catcher position, and we're going to have to bring somebody up, probably to DH one of the other guys. So yeah, Baltimore's lineup won't be quite as strong today. But you mentioned the Seattle bullpen. That will be a concern. And Kirby has been probably the worst starter they've had the last few weeks. So yeah, he's not gotten that hot this year as opposed to in the past. He was one of their guys they count on all the time. Still a great pitcher, but he hasn't been the same. But yeah, the Baltimore situation somewhat intrigues me here, and that would be the side I would play here. You're getting him a little bit plus money here. Seattle's about a 120, 125 favorite right now with a total of 9. I've jinxed Brandon Young via TP on this show this year. When you came out earlier this year, Trig, you liked Young, and then finally I said, yeah, he's not any good. Well, since I said he wasn't any good, he's pitched better. So he's been pretty consistent, actually. I think he just had a couple bad starts. So we're getting Baltimore at home as an underdog, slight underdog, in a game in which they're looking to avoid the sweep. Yeah, I kind of like them. The Seattle bullpen is because of being leading these games. A lot of their key guys are not going to be available today, or they will be on a limited basis. So yeah, if I'm playing, I think I may look at the Baltimore Orioles here.
Yeah, the bullpen usage is what ultimately sort of scared me off the Mariners here. That was my original handicap. Suggested the Mariners, showed some value at the number. I've been obviously very vocal on the show. If you've watched the show all year, I came out, one of the first shows we did, said the Mariners was my number one power rated team in the American League. Obviously, I've had to adjust that. Recently, I've expected them to play better. They have. So I think naturally I gravitate toward the Mariners at this price, but the bullpen usage is concerning. Brian Hatt says, what do you think about the under 9? Would you play it? Jose Perez says, I kind of like the over 9. My numbers have suggested over this entire series. I said on Monday's show, I was at 9.3. That game landed right on the 9 flat, 6-3 final. Yesterday's game goes over 6-5 final. I am at 9.3 once again here for this matchup. So I think showing slight value on the over 9, but a tricky game nonetheless. I don't know if I'll have a play in this one, but definitely a good conversation right there. Mark Martin, he goes, I used to go to the old stadium, the Diamond. I believe the Diamond was Richmond's stadium prior to this year. Disappointed I never got down there. I heard it was a very cool sort of old ballpark. I think I'm going on the 27th. So DM me on Twitter. I can probably get more tickets. If any of you guys are in the Richmond area on the 27th and want to go to the Flying Squirrels game, your boy might be able to get more tickets. So let me know. I'll throw my own meet and greet in Richmond, Brian. I just decided on the show. So yeah, that's CarMax Park, brand new. I'm very excited to see it. They just opened it this year.
CarMax, the Flying Squirrels in CarMax.
CarMax, I think I think that's like the car.
Yeah,
I don't know if they're like a
car around. Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway, okay, let's get back to business here. I got one. I'm coming back, Brian. I'm coming back to you. Jeremiah says, let's talk about how the Rockies are going to cover the spread. Now, I did not end up getting to the window with anything in Major League Baseball yesterday. I probably had about 10 very sort of light opinions. I think they went like 6-4 or something like that. I just couldn't hone in on anything. So I played mostly, I played 3 AAA games instead, went 2-1 there. So I'm not mad about it. But one of my opinions that would have been correct yesterday would have been the Rockies covering the spread yesterday. Jeremiah says, let's talk about how they're going to cover it today. I could kind of see it. I definitely think there's value there again. I think there will be value there all series on the Rockies in this game, in this series at home against the perceived much better Cubs. So Cubs Rockies to you, Brian. It's Shota. Looks like it might be Lorenzen for the Rockies. Do the Rockies have a chance to win again today?
Yeah, this is the one I'm kicking myself on. I liked the Rockies yesterday. Didn't use it. Didn't want to put out too many plays, unfortunately. And in retrospect, you know how that goes. Rockies bullpen's in pretty good shape. None of the key guys pitched on Sunday and Monday. They did use 4 different relievers yesterday, but since they hadn't pitched in the last couple of days, they'll all be available. The Rockies are just a different team when they played at home, and they've brought up Cole Carrig, who started yesterday in the outfield, and I guess the guy is a speed demon. I think he stole 30 bases already in the minor leagues this year, so that'll give them. I've always liked Colorado speed, and even though this is known as a hitter's park, it's more of a single, double, triple park than a home run park. So these guys get on, they start running. A lot of their guys have been hurt. A lot of their speed guys have been hurt this year, but that's a part of this team that I really like. And they've got with Carrig in the lineup now with McCarthy. Castro as an old man can still run a little bit. They've got some speed in that lineup, and that is something that you don't see enough of it. If you ask me, in Major League Baseball, when they're expanding the size of the bat or the bases and all that, and with the throwing the things over, you're not getting as much running as what I really thought they would. I love teams that just disrupt the pitcher when he's on the mound by making you worry about him. So that's something to be concerned about. But yeah, in this game, Lorenzen, he's been Lorenzen this year. He was, when they signed he and Sugano and some other guys in the offseason, it was just guys to bring in for innings. And for the most part, they've done their job. They haven't been that bad. So we're able to get Imanaguas going for the Cubs right now. And he's anywhere from a 57 to a 70 out there right now. So basically about 165, and you're looking at a total of 12 and a half, which is a higher scoring environment, even for Colorado. Imanaga's been lousy as of late. And once I was regretting not playing him more early in the season. Now I'm glad that I haven't played him lately because he has not looked good. He's a fly ball pitcher, and he's pitching in the best regular fly ball park in Major League Baseball. Cincinnati's come down a little bit. And, of course, if you're living here in Vegas, you know that this stadium the last 2 days has laid off a lot of home runs. But, the 1.5 doesn't mean quite as much if you're looking to play them that way with the plus 1.5 because the line's at 12.5, total's at 12.5. Means a lot more if the total is like 7. So, but that's the way I would go. I'd either go with Colorado plus the 1.5, or I would look to play Colorado here. Imanaga throws too many fly balls to want to back him here, even though you would think the Cubs would have a bounce back here. I'm not buying into the Cubs here.
Tokyo Brandon, do you agree or disagree? Cubbies, Rockies to you.
Guys, grab a double play. 2 of us 3. 2 of us. Just pair us together. Leave out the guy you don't like. And you get 3 days for a huge discount. Show us who's the most popular. Throw out the guy you don't like. Just kidding. We're all popular. We all love you and you all love us. But anyways, WagerTalk is making you choose 2 of us for a huge discount for 3 days. So please grab that. Or if you only like one of us and you hate 2 of us, you can get a 3-day pass for 30% off. So
TB, it's a great way to look at it.
Choose 2 of us.
Great way to look at it.
That's an offer they're making.
yeah. It's called triple play. So you can get a double play or a triple play. Either way, huge discount. So grab it. We are 3 of the best baseball minds on the planet. So let's get into this. Imanaga, he's getting up there in age. He's got some weird stats. He's 1 short of a straight in his earned runs in his last 4 starts. He's got 5, 6, 7, 8. So in his next one, if he gives up 9 or 4, he's going to have a straight. And that's bad. But his whip is still 1.08, which is immaculate. So this is really weird. How do you judge this guy? Yeah, he's an X factor as far as I'm concerned. I don't like to bet his games because he's definitely a Jekyll and Hyde kind of guy. He could absolutely vomit on the mound, or he could come out and throw 7 shutout innings. You don't know what you're going to get from him. Lorenzen is a guy I liked when he was at Texas last year, was it? I liked backing him when he was at Texas. But now I don't. This ballpark is not conducive to his pitching style. I don't like backing him, but man, there's no team that's more listless and pathetic right now than the Chicago Cubs. They look awful. I got the Rockies batting number 10 out of 30 teams, and I got the Cubs batting 22 out of 30. So I think the Rockies have a shot, but I certainly would not bet it because that bullpen is really bad. They might have some talented arms, but they are not putting it together right now. Cubs bullpen, not exactly great, pretty mediocre. So make of that what you will. Yeah, Imanaga, he's giving up so many runs, but even his walk rate is really good. He's only walking 27% of the guys he's striking out. So his numbers are really good, but his results are terrible. So I really don't know what to make of him. Can you explain this, Adam?
Yeah, I'm certainly gonna try to. A couple things here. I was just trying to see what the updated total. Brian, would you have it right there? What's the total in this game?
Was I wrong about Lorenzen? He played in Texas, right?
Yeah.
He's been all over the place.
Someone said
been
I'm
around.
hitting the fireball.
It's sitting right now between 12 and 12 and a half.
Yeah. That's like, that's probably about right. I wouldn't be surprised if it got over that. Like, I think the Rockies can score here. One thing I'll say about Cole Carrig, like, you see these guys that come through the minors, and then you're like, well, this should play at the next level. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Like, this dude will have a 15-year MLB career. Like, he hasn't been the flashiest guy at AAA. He's been way up my player rankings at AAA, but he's not, when you hear people talk about the guys at AAA right now, it's the Lara kid from Nashville that just got paid. James Tibbs just hitting bombs. No one talks about Cole Carrig yet. He's been consistently the best player, or at least one of like the 5 best players in AAA all season. He hits to all fields. Brian, you talked about his speed. Put one down the right field line. He's standing on third, gets a triple in his major league debut. What a perfect player for that ballpark. Huge outfield. He's an outfielder, covers a lot of ground. I think he's going to be fantastic for them. So that's a notch in the rock. For me, that's a check mark for the Rockies here. And then just like, I kind of like the Rockies are a team. Like, I just don't think they know any better. I don't think they know how to have a letdown. I don't think they're good enough to know. Like, they're just like basically like, hey, we were all in AAA last year or AA. Like, the team won 40 games. We're just going out and playing. TB, you talked about their bullpen. Yeah, can they have a blow up? Of course, but they have some quality arms in there. There's 2 or 3 guys in that Rockies bullpen throwing 100 miles an hour. So I don't think it's necessarily a bad bullpen. It's certainly not a deep bullpen. And they don't have like big time leverage guys, which I think is going to undo them in some closer games, but they have some decent arms. I'd come right back with the Rockies here. +1.5, -105. I actually think that's a pretty good bet. And that's one I'm considering for the parlay, what I'm considering for my card today, I just think this is a much closer. It's an even game. Why are the Rockies just catching a run and a half here? This is an even game. TB, I'll go back to something you always say. Name on the front of the jersey. Cubs getting all that credit for that Cubs logo on the front of the jersey here, in my opinion.
They look like burning garbage right now. They really do.
Dalen, he goes, winning bettors don't sell picks. I got to disagree. If your job, listen, I know accountants that are winning bettors, okay? So, but if you're employed to make content and sell picks, then you can be a winning bettor selling picks. Like, that's just, we're not going to come here and work for free. So I guess winning bettors do sell picks sometimes.
Let me make a point about that as well.
Yeah.
I'm limited to what books I can bet in, and I have this baseball knowledge. Why would I keep it to myself? And if you are a stock trader, do you just trade your own stocks, or do you give people advice on what stocks they should buy? That is such a silly statement.
If you're a great athlete, why do you do commercials? Why do you sign autographs? This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. I just get tired of it.
And also, talk about successful. Brian's the #1 baseball capper in WagerTalk lifetime. I was the #1 baseball capper in 2024, and I'm #4 this season. So say that we're not winning, and Adam's winning a lot too. So say that we're not winning is just ridiculous. Mm-hmm. So
I just had to get that in there. Listen, I'm all for, like, put anything you want in the chat. Go to our YouTube channel. We love that. Listen, good. I always say this: good, bad, or indifferent. I want to hear from you guys. Comments on the YouTube channel, but expect to get a comment back. Like, we respond to everything. So, we're gonna respond to it.
I don't have a problem with it. But if you're just not going to do your work, if you want to say something bad about us,
all right, your boy needs to step in. Hold on, I gotta go back to the Rockies thing. Adam, Colorado has Colorado. No, we got to talk, but we'll get back to the baseball conversation.
You can get me mad. Don't get Brian mad.
This is what I'm saying, where it's like, okay, so David, again, he makes a point here, but I'm going to disagree with my analysis being wrong. He says Colorado has the worst bullpen ERA. Your analysis is totally wrong. Listen, they can have the worst bullpen ERA and they can still have plus bullpen arms. What I'm trying to say is, is Colorado's bullpen, are they going to blow up at times? Do they have zero depth? Are they going to have the stretch where they give up 10 runs because they have now punted on a game and it's like, hey, we're going to live to fight another day, and they may give up 7 runs in an inning with like the worst couple guys in their bullpen? Yes. Does it mean Colorado has a bad bullpen? My air quotes were outside of my screen here. Does it mean they have a bad bullpen? Not really. It means that they just don't have a deep bullpen, and that, you gotta know going in that if they start to run out of arms, you might get a crooked number at the end of the game. It doesn't. If they're in a close game, Halverson, Brian, there's a couple other names escaping me, but there are guys that have been pretty good. Mejia, that have been pretty good and that throw gas. So I don't think my analysis is wrong. I'm not saying you're wrong about referencing a factual stat, but how much does the ERA doesn't tell the whole story. So I had to push back on that one as well.
ERA doesn't matter. And half the games are played in Colorado, guys. You could have your bullpen could blow up for 9 runs and then have 5 games where they give up less than 1, and their ERA is going to look bad. The ERA is
just
not
more to it.
Yeah, guys, just they got a good ERA. I see these cappers up here. Oh yeah, this guy's got a great ERA. ERA is I don't say it's meaningless, but it's not the tell. Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
No, I think that's an important conversation. I'll let Brian jump in here because like referencing once, like there's just more to it in a lot of cases. And I think with the Rockies, you got to watch these guys pitch. You see a couple guys coming out throwing 100. You got to say, you know what, that they might materialize into like pretty good high leverage guys. So I think I'm just trying to buy the potential a little bit more with the Rockies.
Yeah, their bullpen is ranked 30th by my stats, but they play half their games in Colorado, and you've got San Francisco at 26, Pittsburgh at 27 in pitchers' ballparks. I would much rather have the Colorado Rockies bullpen over those two. It's they're bad. There's no doubt about it. They're bad. When was the last time Colorado had a good bullpen? It's nobody. The only guys that Colorado can sign are guys that nobody else wants. Nobody wants to pitch in Colorado. That's just the way it is.
Yeah, and just throwing hard doesn't mean you're good. No, but I think guys that throw 99, 100 is a pretty that is essentially what you for a high leverage 8th, 9th inning reliever. Let's put it this way: there aren't many of them that don't throw very, very hard. Like I don't think you're a really solid 8th, 9th inning guy at this point unless you're throwing like gas. Like that you won't find many of them. So again, it's a great conversation. We're going to get back to the picks. That's actually a really interesting conversation. I think it's just, because you could make points on both sides. But to say that they're the worst bullpen in the league, that's where I would push back a little bit. I still see some redeeming qualities. All right, Brian, we're moving it along. Back to you will be there for the 3rd night in a row. You should just sleep at Las Vegas ballpark at this point. Just bring a sleeping bag. Although I heard it's been pretty. I saw Robert Gasser the Brewers were like dying in the humidity or something, or the heat early in the day. They showed them warming up how hot it was. So A's Brewers, Las Vegas ballpark, the rubber match of what has been an insane series to this point. You're going to be there. Jack wants to touch on it. Talk to us about A's Brewers.
Yeah, Milwaukee with Sprout, Athletics with Perkins. Perkins has pitched here before. He knows a little bit better. We talked about this. A lot of these Athletics players have been in the stadium. Kurtz, a lot of their really good. Bolte hit a home run yesterday. He'd been here a lot. So they know the stadium a little bit better. They don't swing for the fences quite as much as the others. We're looking at basically it's a pick 'em, 105, 110 either way, total of 14.5. I talked about the first game when teams went extra innings, which didn't help anything, and the teams got bombed. So the bullpens are in threads at this point, and I'm not a huge Brandon Sproat fan. I think if I'm playing this one, I'm going to play the over. And yesterday, as TB kind of pointed out a little bit, they were sitting at 12 runs in the 6th inning, and 6th inning or so. So the wind was blowing out a little bit more to right field than center field, but still, anytime the wind's blowing out, in when I took a look earlier at the cheat sheets for Ballpark Pal, yeah, they're expecting a lot of home runs, and I don't blame them. But all the game will be starting an hour earlier, which means more sunlight, which means more heat for the players that aren't used to it. And hats off to both those starters yesterday. Neither one of them really pitched great. The numbers aren't going to show it. But to last as long in that game as they did was really impressive. And then when they went to the bullpens, I thought the offenses were really going to jump up. They didn't. I think that was a fluke. I think this is going to be another high-scoring game here. And at least they put the line where it should be, as opposed to yesterday where I believe, like I said, when I got home, it was 12. And then it went to 13. I even saw 15 at one spot on yesterday's game. And for them to come back with a 14.5, they said, okay, we got to slow this train down on the overs, even though people with the unders won yesterday. I think yesterday's was the fluke out of it. Just a few innings at the end of the game in which the hitting wasn't there. I think we see more of it here, especially from Milwaukee standpoint, this is the last game of the series here. They're in a pretty middle of the road stadium for hitting. This is still one last chance for them to get, pad their stats. And so, if they get a lead in this game, and we've seen that before, it's sort of like the NHL Stanley Cup. No lead is safe. No lead will be safe here. I like the over 14.5. I'm going to use that as my parlay here. I hate to be Mr. Joe Public on it, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And so I'll play the over as and I'm getting it at 14.5. It's basically, let's go 115, slightly a little bit higher, but we get 15 runs, we win, and I don't think that should be a problem here.
Tokyo Brandon, talk to us about this game. Also, walk us through that sweat last night to hit an under, needing 4 scoreless innings in this ballpark. What a way to get a win right there. And Brewers A's to you. Do you see runs or do you see it staying under again here?
I don't see. I got lucky yesterday to get the 12.5 under. I don't see that happening again. I don't have a good read on either one of these pitchers, to be honest, but every time I hear Sprout's name, I think of Billy Squire. Sprout. For some reason, that pops in my head every time I see his name. But anyway, I think the over is the only way to go. I got Perkins, little sample size, but I got him ranked 26th on a scale of 30. Bullpens are not bad, but like you guys said, they're pretty spent right now, and both teams hitting quite well. Probably the stadium has something to do with that. But yeah, I think over in this one would be the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I like Jackson Perkins. I think he's really solid. The problem is he's not going to give you more than like 4 innings here. He was kind of coming out of the bullpen. He was used as an opener. They gave him a start against the Astros last time out. We actually played against him here, I think, I played against him some point in time. I don't know, either on this show or talked about it on this show. He gave him 4, but he kind of got roughed up 5 runs over 4 innings. So it's like, if they use him more in an opener fashion, I think he can be really good once through the order, targeting a certain part of the order. The problem is, let's say he's out after 2 or 3 innings. Who is pitching the final 6 innings for the A's today? Because they've used a lot of bullpen, and they don't have many good arms down there in the bullpen. So that's a problem. Brian talking about the over. Like, if they don't come early, they certainly could come late, especially off the bat of the Brewers. And hey, you get 9 at-bats from the Brewers regardless. So, you could get into a scenario, let's say it's like last night where you're stuck on 12. Well, like the Brewers might come up in the 9th inning against some bum in this game. Like it really could get to that point with how much usage the A's have had out of the bullpen last 2 days, of course, going back to that crazy game on Monday night where they had to go much deeper into their bullpen than they probably expected to have to do. On the other side, Brandon Sproat, I talked about him the last couple times he's pitched. I think he needs to go back to AAA. I think he would benefit from some time at AAA. He doesn't have great command. He's either walked guys and has really nibbled on the corners, and because I don't think he really trusts his stuff out over the plate, or he's compensated to throwing it right over the plate, and you do not want to do that in this ballpark. Like, you just simply do not. Like, you're better off walking 5 guys and trying to clip edges and get a couple strikeouts that you are trying to throw the ball over the plate, because we've seen what happens. Ball gets thrown over the plate. It gets up in the air, even in like Jonah Himes the other night. That was a routine fly ball to right field. That ended up in the seats. Yeah, I have my concerns with Sproat. Don't think I could pick a side here. Brian, you're probably right. I think that this, some way or another, this one's probably getting to like 18 or 19 runs. So 14.5 makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm sitting in section 118 on the third base side, and I'm around. That's the basically the side for the visitors. I don't think a lot of people, when you're buying tickets, unless you actually want to sit with your fans, makes a difference. But I'm able to talk to a lot of Brewers fans. I've got some guys in town that I know are Brewers fans, and we were talking about Sprout yesterday, and they said, yeah, it's the one weakness in their pitching staff right now, and they're afraid to send him down to ruin his confidence again. And but so they're playing with him just because they're winning, and they're trying to give him all these chances. So. Yeah, he's a guy I'm looking to target here. And keep in mind, it was the last 2.5 innings nobody scored yesterday. If the A's didn't have the lead, they would have been batting in the bottom of the 9th. And in a run environment like this, if you play in the over, I kind of want to root a little bit for Milwaukee. That means the Athletics have to have to bat in the bottom of the 9th, and it gives them more time to score. So if the Brewers take an early lead in this game, even more reason to play the over here in game if you're playing in game live.
Lucas says, who's going to hit a home run in this game, Trig? Kurtz. I can see Kurtz taking Sproat to like the next county. Like
any left-hander any left-hander for either one of these teams because you got 2 righties on the mound.
Yeah, that ball's going to land on the tarmac and at McCarran probably, like off of Kurtz's bat.
That's pretty far away from this one.
Yeah, it is. I don't think that's there. Yeah. Anyway. All right. Brian's locked in his parlay leg. That's the over. What'd you say? Like minus 110 or so?
Let's go minus 115 on the over 14.5.
All right, Tokyo Brandon, you and I got to come up with a parlay leg here. Do you know where you want to go? If not, I'll go first. It's up to you.
I absolutely do, but it's a game we already covered, so I'm going to
All
take
right,
the Dodgers.
let me go first. We're still going to get you guys 2 other games in here. TB will lock his in at the end. I'm going to propose. I'll go with a game we have not discussed yet, and since we're good segue here from Brandon Sproat, and Brian said they didn't want to ruin his confidence. The Mets kind of did that to him a little bit. The Mets sort of ruined his confidence, where he was like their guy, and then like Nolan McLean came along and Jonah Tong came along, and they kind of like backburnered Sproat a little bit, sent him back to AAA, and he pitched terrible. So they kind of did that to him, and we're going to talk about the Mets because I'm going to go with the Mets here as my leg of the parlay. This is going to be Cardinals Mets. It's going to be Palante versus Christian Scott. And here's another, the part of the reason Sproat is now in, I'll reference, I think the Mets might go with an opener. So if you see Warren listed out there, I think the Mets are going to put an opener. They're going to let Scott pitch the bulk innings. Part of the reason you see Brandon Sproat in Milwaukee is the Mets sort of, they kind of found him disposable. And he was like the guy coming up through the minors. Like by the time, like when I remember when he got to Syracuse and they were all excited about him, and suddenly he became disposable. So I think that's what Brian's referencing, where it's like he's had his confidence broken in the past. The Brewers are trying not to do that to him, but it may be necessary if he gets rocked again at the big league level. Christian Scott was one of these guys coming up with him. He gets hurt. Again, now that he's sort of working his way back, I think he ends up piggybacking Warren here. And I'm sort of willing to play against Palante. I'm still, again, guys, Tokyo Brandon, I'm going to come to you first. The Mets, I still see a team that can turn the corner. They're just hanging out there. They're 8 games under 500. I know they got crushed 7-0 last night, but, they had taken 2 of 3 from the Padres on the road. I thought this series was going to be a good, this stretch, this homestand. Cardinals, Braves. I know the Braves are one of the better teams in the league, but the Mets, that's a rivalry. The Mets are going to get up for that series. I kind of tabbed the Mets here. I said, you know what? The Mets are going to go at least 3-3, maybe 4-2 in this 6-game homestand. They started off last night, a dreadful performance. They get shut out 7-0. I'm playing the bounce back angle here. I like the way the Mets pitching sets up better than the Cardinals, and the Cardinals are a team that I'm going to start to sell. I think we finally see some Cardinals regression. So the Mets will be my parlay leg. What do you think about that?
Me?
Yes, you first and then Brian.
Okay. Oh, man. Cardinals are red hot. I don't know if I would go against them here, Adam. Palante, man, his last 4 starts, he's only had 1 bad one. He's given up 1-1-1-4. So, I did put up my pitcher matchup stats on my Twitter X. He does have some fairly questionable stats against the batters he's facing today, so maybe the Mets can get to him. Regarding bullpens, both of them are top 10 bullpens, so yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that, Adam. Good luck though.
Brian, I guess you try to sell teams at their peak. I just sort of see the Cardinals peaking, and I feel like it's a good, I guess that's what I like the most about this. There's I want to sell the Cardinals. I want to buy the Mets, and I'm okay with how the pitching sets up for the home team. Palante's just not a guy that strikes fear. I mean, he's been good, but I don't see him any more than like kind of an average big league starter. So I have no problem going against him here.
An average big league starter is just exactly what St. Louis needs. They don't have a ton of talent in the pitching staff, but they've been very, very good this year. This is a team that continues to win. I had the under yesterday in the first 5, and that lost, but the under in a full game when they got there in the 7-0 victory. I hate to lay with the Mets. I'm sort of with TB here. I hate to lay with the Mets. I do like the follower, is I guess what you could say in this, but St. Louis has been the better team all season long, and you're catching them here at an underdog price. Palante's been okay. I won't be involved in this game, but it's hard for me to bring myself to play the Mets here. If this price range, the 130 price range, I won't get there but I'm wishing you the best. But it's not a game that I'm going to be involved in.
Is that what we're looking at right now? Minus 130?
You're looking at about minus 130. Yeah.
If the Mets win, I'll dress like Adam, and if the Cardinals win, Adam dresses like me.
I'm gonna have to go into his girlfriend's closet to
Grandma.
Grandma. Listen. I wouldn't. The Mets have been very disappointing to this point. There's no question about that. I still think this team turns the corner. I hope that some people share your guys' opinion. I'd love to see the Cardinals take money. You give me another 10 to 15 cents here. This is probably on my client card. That was the one thing that kept me off for clients was the minus 130. But I do feel like I do have a little bit of a it's priced there for a reason type of, sort of feeling about that. Listen, I think the Mets going with the openers in front of Tong and Scott, I kind of like that from them. I think the Mets bullpen is still pretty solid. So you're going to you get Warren, a good matchup up front. Then you get some bulk. Then you get the better Mets relievers, none of which that pitched, yesterday. And I don't think much the day before. Feels like a good spot for the Mets to get a win. So I am going to stand my ground here. Mets is my play for the parlay. Tokyo Brandon, real quick, so I know we ran long today. We kind of got off topic a little bit. I want to a lot of people want the day game, Guardians, Yankees. Going to go to Brian first. Let's go around the horn there, and then we'll lock in the parlay. We'll get out of here. Brian, Guardians, Yankees to you.
A couple lefties, Rodon, Messick. Messick's about a 115 favorite, total of 8. The Yankees have been able to win the last couple of games. Rodon's starting to pitch better. He's starting to get in his groove. He's a little bit healthy right now. But I kind of like Cleveland. I think without the big power guy and Judge, I think Cleveland's just as good as the Yankees are right now. And these games mean more to Cleveland. I talked about that earlier. I think Cleveland gets the win here.
Tokyo Brandon, Guardians, Yankees. How are you seeing this one?
I'll make it quick. And we already covered my parlay game, so we won't spend time on that. I like an under in this one. I think Cleveland's bats are starting to cool off. And like Brian said, without Judge, Yankees are kind of cooling off. And against Messick, he's perfect ice to cool anyone off. I think an under in the first 5 would probably be the way to go here. I don't see either team exploding. And Rodon's actually looked pretty good. He's a guy that I've faded throughout his career, but he's actually looking pretty good this season. I think he's old as dirt, but he's doing well so far. So I'll ride that and say first 5 under.
Let's put it this way. If it wasn't the Mets for my parlay leg, I probably was going to use the Guardians. This goes back to, somehow the Yankees have won 3 straight games. I say somehow because I feel like they kind of, they've won 3 straight close games. The opener of this series, I think the Guardians had a lead, maybe choked it away late, and the Yankees won in extras. But the point is, I'll go back to what I was saying last week when we cashed fading the Yankees in those first couple games without Judge. Their record without Judge, you can't just brush that under the table. Going back to 2021, this team plays about 450 win percentage baseball when Aaron Judge is not in the lineup. And, that's where, again, I just have to do we know, again, he's going to be out. I just want to double check. I think he's going to be out for a while. I know they Yankees were kind of tight-lipped on that, but now that they've won 3 straight games, the value has come back to play against them. The Yankees are one of those things where it's in that Red Sox series, after the Red Sox won the series opener on Friday night, the market swung pretty good the rest of the way. What happens? Yankees win 3 straight games, and it's everything's been forgotten at this point. The books have just shifted everything back toward the Yankees being priced as this premium option, where the Yankees typically get priced. And it's Judge is still not back. That didn't go away. And you look at this game, day game after a night game, some bullpen usage. So again, I ended up settling with the Mets for the parlay, but the Guardians makes a lot of sense here. Messick is a pretty big edge over Rodon, in my opinion. And you got the bullpen's going to stack up better here for the Guardians. So, Guardians is how I would play that one. Freebird, again, he says, thanks for all the great advice. We appreciate the donation. We are running late today, so I'm going to go to TB and let him lock down the parlay here. But we very much appreciate all the donations, all the interaction, and we're just trying to give you winning info and get you some winners. So TB, the floor is yours. How are we closing out this parlay?
If you like at least two of us who can grab a double play for 3 days, you can grab two of us for 3 days. Huge discount. It's a great package that WagerTalk's doing. So grab a double play if you'd like to reward us for bestowing this knowledge upon you. So I'm going to take the Dodgers. And the reason I'm taking the Dodgers is because Ohtani has his sights set on that Cy Young Award. He's going to come out gunning. You're right. Jared Jones is a stud and he does throw 99, but if he throws it straight, it's going to get clobbered. He better have some movement on that 99 or else they're going to crush it. He did have movement on it 2 years ago. Let's see if he gets it back. But for now, I think the Dodgers are the better team, and we won't see Tanner Thott come in and blow the game. So,
Brian, looking about a 195 out there on this, and also if I kind of like the Pittsburgh team total under. If you don't want to lay that kind of juice, I would agree with TB a little bit. But it's about 195 out there, anywhere from, anyway, 195. There's some 200s a little bit in places far away, but 195 for the most part.
Yeah, listen, I would keep an eye on the Pirates lineup. If I see a line, if all of a sudden O'Neal Cruz isn't in the lineup, keep an eye on Lau. Obviously, Connor Griffin's out. That's, if you see a lineup and some of those guys aren't in it, Shohei is just going to feast here. Like, there's not going to, that's going to be an issue. If it's just like, if the lineup looks more like the Indianapolis Indians lineup and not the Pittsburgh Pirates lineup today, I would not be surprised if Shohei fired 7 scoreless. And that's probably what's going to keep me off the Pirates side. So, Tokyo Brandon, I will root for you in that regard. He's going Dodgers minus 195 to open up the parlay. I'm going to go Mets minus 130. And Brian is going to be up late again tonight, rooting for runs at Las Vegas Ballpark. Go see him if you're in the building. He's going to go Brewers A's over 14.5. Minus 115. That is your 3-teamer today. Dodgers minus 195. Mets minus 130. Brewers A's over 14.5. Minus 115. Check us out on the WagerTalk site. A bunch of great specials. We'll all have plays today. Let's keep cashing, and we'll see you guys in the morning for more Total Bases.